Hello everybody, welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator. Today we're going to be taking the American Airlines A319 from Miami down to Key West to showcase and look at the new Key West developed by MK Studios. As you guys can see, it is thundering outside here. We're just doing the walk around, it's just finished up. Boarding is complete, all we got to do is hop in the flight deck here, start the APU, and call for ground for pushback. There is lightning and thunder. So it looks like it's going to be a rainy, thundery departure out of Miami here, but the weather in Key West is looking good. So we're up on the flight deck here and get everything started up. Hope you guys enjoy. All right, we are in the flight deck here. All we need to do is head up top and turn our APU master switch on, get that APU page on so we can get that APU started up. And then when we have the APU started up, we'll get jet bridge disconnect and get our ground power and everything gone, and then we'll call up for our tug to get us out of here. Yeah, it's really low visibility MVFR rating here at Miami because yeah, thunder, lightning, and very low visibility. So it's gonna be a nice departure, or fun departure, I rather say, out of Miami here. So we got the APU going. We'll get the APU started up, and then we'll call for ground. Alright, APU has started up. That looks good there. We're going to take a look up top and get the ground power off. Everything up top looks good. We'll get that beacon light on here very shortly. We're going to get the GPU gone, and then we're going to get our jet bridge gone here as well. Alright, chocks and cones can go. All ground equipment gone. Doors closed and locked. Everything looks good there. Put our flight plan up there. Alright, we can now make sure the parking brake is on. Yep, everything here looks good. We'll call up for ground and get our pushback. Okay, we're going to release the parking brake here, and it's going to be nose right. There we go. Pushback is now commencing. We can start the engines. We'll flip the switch to ignition, which I have the Thrustmaster throttle quadrant to do that. Engine page on. And we will start engine 1. One thing I'm going to mention as well is we're going to be cruising at 16,000 feet because it's such a short flight. It's like a 25-30 minute flight. Very quick. And now we'll start engine 2. Flip that switch and engine 2 will now start up. Engines are starting up nicely now. All right, we will put our flaps in. That's going to be flaps 1. All right, flaps 1 set. Hand signal received. They're going to leave now. We can flip the switch back to normal. We'll go to the APU page and turn the APU off. We also forgot about our beacon light. Ignore that, though. We'll get our master switches off of the APU. Throw that taxi light on. And then we'll head down here to our flight control page. We'll do up 0.5. There we go. And left aileron, right aileron, full down, full up on the elevator, left rudder, and right rudder. Okay, controls are free. Everything's looking good there. We will go to our APU page to watch the APU go down. And it's a 139 for VR out of Miami here. As you guys saw in the engine start, there was some lightning, so this will be a fun departure out. We're going to release the parking brake here and start our taxi to runway 08 right. All right, we are approaching the runway here. Got our wiper on. You can turn that off, and lights can go on. Nose light on, wing light, strobe, and our runway turn-off lights. All that is ready. Cabin is ready. Perfect. All lights are on, and everything is set. We are good for takeoff out of stormy Miami here, guys. So we'll get on the runway here, and it'll be a Manflex 68. Manflex 68 for our throttles here on departure. All right, line up on the runway here. Okay, and there we go. All right, everything's checked. You can't even see the end of the runway. That's okay. We're gonna bring some power up here. Nose down pressure until 100 knots. Okay. Manflex 68, SRS runway, thrust blue. Takeoff power has set. $100 knots, neutral on the stick. V1. Rotate. Nav and positive rate gear coming up. Holy, I can't see anything at all. But we got out of there. We're going to have to follow the screens here. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to see the downtown Miami on our left side here on the departure because of the weather, but that's okay. We're looking forward for the new Key West scenery, which is VFR flying. So we're coming out of a storm here, and we should be seeing some nice weather on the arrival. All right, throttles to climb, and we'll throw the autopilot on. There we go. Autopilot on. Gear is up. We can de-arm the speed brakes. And flaps can come up as well. And there we go. We'll also turn off the nose light because we don't need that on no more. And there we go. We're on the climb out of Miami here, guys. And look at that, right through the clouds. We're now blue sky. It'll be a nice calm flight now because we're out of the storm and we're above the storm, which is nice. So now let's follow our flight plan here. Like I said, 16,000 feet we're going to be at, so it's not going to be a long cruise altitude because our top of climb's there, top of descent's just about there. So not that long of a flight at all, about a 35-minute flight time, I'm pretty sure, from Miami to Key West. All right, there's our 10,000 foot mark. We'll head up top. Seatbelt sign can come off. Landing lights off, wing lights off, and runway turnoff lights off. All up top looks good. We'll also head down to our FMC, go to flight plan, top of climb, and then it's going to be top of descent just after Mainer waypoint, as you see there. Everything's looking good, though. We'll continue our climb on here up to 16,000 and go from there. Everything's looking good, though. And we'll be starting our top of descent here very shortly because it's not that long of a flight. All right, and there you have it. We're coming up to our cruise altitude of 16,000 feet, nice and quick like that. And then very soon we're going to be preparing our approach briefing and our approach performance. For the RNAV approach, runway 09 into Key West. Now, it is a very interesting approach. You do have to kind of nose down near the end there because the trees to get on the Pappy Light glide slope there. But everything should be okay. RNAV approach, so we pretty much have a little bit of a glide slope and localizer. Should be okay, everything with the arrival. Winds are calm and VFR conditions over there. So as you can see in front of us too, it's not going to be like Miami, which is nice. We're at our cruise altitude, everything's looking good, and our top of descent is going to be very soon because I'm already getting a notification to do our arrival performance, which we'll do right now, why not? So go to approach, and we'll hit Key West on my iPad here, because I got my iPad in front of me. QNH is 3004, so 30.04, so very close to what we have right now. Temperature, nice warm 26 degrees. 26 degrees Celsius. Winds are 30/6 knots. And the barrow into Key West is, I think, 425, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, 425. So we'll put that in there as well. There's our approach briefing and our approach performance set. And top of descent will be coming up here very shortly. All right, top of descent's coming up, so we're going to go down to 1,500 feet. There we go. And 1,500 feet set. That's the intercept point for the RNAV 09. We'll also click this button in here very shortly. But it'll be a nice arrival since there's no clouds. It's VFR flying and the winds are calm. So finally, because in the past when I've done this flight, it's been not the best winds. So we'll see how this goes. All right, we'll push the knob in, which will now start our descent. And now we're going to make our way on down to 1,500 feet for the approach RNAV 09 at Key West. Now, we'll look at our FMC for a performance page. We don't need to activate approach until we are turning right base. But everything here is looking good. It's going to be a 127 approach speed and a 122 landing speed, it looks like. But we'll start our descent here and continue our descent and make our way down to 1,500 feet for the approach into Key West. All right, here is our 10,000 foot mark. We're gonna head up top, get our seatbelt sign on, and our arrival lights, which is our wing light, runway turn off, and landing lights. Nose light, of course, like I said in the last videos, does not get turned on until the gear is down. But everything is good up top. We'll just follow our approach here because we're getting very close to the arrival now into Key West. All right, we are turning to right base here for the RNAV 09. So we're going to get our flaps out here. Flaps 1, which is our slats. That will come out here, and it'll drop our speed down to around 180. And we'll see how everything goes here. How the arrival will work. Hopefully the winds are going to stay calm. Right now it's a headwind of about 12 knots, it looks like. Which, headwind 12 knots, that's fine. I don't want a tailwind or a crosswind. That's like crazy. Now we go down to our approach page. Everything's looking good here. It's all ready to go. 3004 I say on there, but it's actually 30002 for our altimeter setting according to Navigraph. So I'll keep it on that. We'll be turning final here very shortly, and then we'll hit approach, and we'll grab the approach mode.
2,500.
2,500 is checked. All right, and here we start our final. We'll just turn, and then I'll hit approach mode. And we'll also go flaps 2. All right, approach. And flaps 2. Flaps 2 are now coming out. All right, so everything's looking good. We'll just keep bringing out the flaps, and we'll be dropping the gear here very shortly. After this island on our left here, we'll be dropping the gear. And then getting ready for the approach here. Now the winds are looking pretty calm. 9 knot headwind, 12 knot, 13 knot. But the wind should stay calm all the way according to how it's all set up. All right, gear coming down. Flaps 3. And speed brake is going to be armed. Auto brakes. Speed brake armed, yeah. And then auto brakes to medium. And nose light coming on. And ping the cabin. There we go. And flaps full. There we go. We'll be in full config for landing. We have a headwind here of 10 knots, which is okay. We can keep it as a headwind. I'm totally fine with that. We'll set this to 3,000 feet for go around, in case. Hopefully not. Nice approach here because we fly right over a cruise ship terminal area where we have 2 ships here. Be nice to go on a cruise to Key West. That'd probably be really nice. Checked. We'll be disengaging autopilot here very shortly. And now we have a bit of a crosswind, damn it. But the crosswind's going down, turning into a headwind. It's a weird direction right now. It's like a left diagonal direction. Now it's a direct crosswind. This is fun. This is going to be fun. Now this is a A319, so it's known for being smashed onto the ground. So we'll see how this goes. I can land the 320, 321 fine, but when it comes to 319, it's like impossible for me. It's saying there's no winds on 09. This is very strange. Alright, autopilot disengage, I have control. My aircraft will try and maintain this.
Too low, terrain.
20, retard.
Touchdown. I knew that was going to be a hard landing, but it's a very short runway, so touchdown. Reverse green decel. Tap the brakes, and reverser stowed. I already knew that this was going to be a hard landing because of the winds, and because this is an A319, I can never land them smoothly. So every time I land the A319, it's going to be smashed onto the runway, but at least we landed in the touchdown zone and didn't have to do a go-around. It's probably better to hit touchdown zone and have a somewhat hard landing than try and aim for a butter landing and be like halfway down the runway, possibly on a go-around. Anyways, we'll clean up the airplane here and taxi to our gate, which is gate 4, which is just over there somewhere. Get the speed brake on. Auto brake's already off because we tap it with our rudder pedals. This can go to taxi. APU can come on. These can go off. There we go. Okay. We'll head up top here, turn that taxi light off. Start that APU. And APU bleed on. And line up on the line here, which I don't see really, but that's okay. Okay, we'll stop right here. Parking brake set. There we go. Parking brake is set. Perfect. Everything's looking good. Wait for that APU to start up, and then that looks good. All right, APU is started. We can now turn off our engines because we're on APU gen. And we'll head up top and turn the seatbelt sign off, beacon light off, and we'll call up ground for deboarding. But welcome to Key West, everybody. Nice flight. Nice rainy, thundering departure out of Miami, but then nice clear skies and warm weather arrival into Key West with a hard landing of about negative 300 feet per minute, which it's okay in the 319, I guess. That's probably the best one I've had, but it's all right. Anyways, we'll call up ground and get deboarding. Well, guys, that's going to do it for this flight from Miami to Key West. Here's the new Key West terminal. We'll quickly just take a look. It's actually really good. I think the Key West terminal here is really good. Really well made, because even the passengers will go through the jet bridge and into the terminal. So the Key West terminal is definitely good scenery. I recommend it. I'll have a link in the description for it as well. And then here's the arrival to that short runway all the way through. Have to say, it's actually really nice scenery to fly into. So I recommend it. It's on Contrail. I'll have a link in the description for it as well. But like I said, that's going to do it for this flight from Miami to Key West with the American Airlines Fenix A319. Some people call it the smash bus because when you come into land, it is always going to hit hard on the ground if you don't flare right like I did today. Flight time was about 35 minutes. Nice calm flight over. Aircraft's deboarding. Everyone's getting off the aircraft. Thank you guys very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.